Stay connected. Spiritual Connect Radio. Music, talk, news, and topics that inspire. Spiritual Connect Radio.
Good evening and happy Thursday. You are tuned into the Millennials Stand Up Show. I am your host, Faith Joy, and I'm just so excited to bring you another broadcast here on Spiritual Connect Radio. And I want to shout out to all of our sponsors, all those who have supported the shows and who are helping to push the ministry and also the outreach that we're doing right here in the city of Philadelphia and the surrounding area. If I had to really sum up my week, honestly, I would say it has been a long week. And I say long with a capital L because every day has honestly felt like it has been its own roller coaster. And it's been an exciting week. There's been a lot of changes. Things are happening. And there's so many individuals that I talk to that are feeling the same way. People are telling me that this is the season for change. And things are transforming. Things are happening in the business, in your job, in finance. And to be honest, I believe that this is occurring because we are now 9 weeks away from a new year. Like, that's crazy and incredible. Like, 9 weeks. We were just talking in January about the new year, and we were talking about prepping for what we would like to see, what we would like to happen. You know, those of you who did your vision boards and you wrote your notes down and you put your sticky notes all around, and you know, you were getting greatly excited about what was going to occur. And so if things have already not taken place, they're happening now. And if you haven't experienced any kind of change or pruning, then guess what, folks? It's coming very soon because we have 9 weeks to sum up this year. And so the Lord is moving, He's speaking, He's transitioning. And so get ready, get excited, and jump on the train because you got to finish the year out strong. But in order for us to really do so, in order for us to move to new levels and to really check off the list, we need to do so in a proper manner. We need to do so in an educated manner, and we need to be strategic in how we're moving day to day. The best way to do that is to have coaching. The best way to do that is to have information and to have people who can pour into you and who can kind of help propel you to where you're going and to help encourage you on your journey. And so while there are a lot of different folks that we can talk with, there's a lot of different folks that can do that job, and there's a lot of people you can watch on YouTube, and there are a lot of books out there that you can read. I am excited to have one of the gurus of coaching and leadership here, I would say on the show, but not physically here, and I'll tell you why, because that's another exciting little piece. But someone who can actually help guide us and move us through our next steps. And so when you are in the presence of greatness, there's something that needs to be said about their history, their background. And so before I introduce my guest for tonight, I'm just going to give you a background about who he is and why his life experience matters for us right now. So after serving 21 honorable years in the United States Armed Force, Anthony Barkley began a corporate career as an executive director of an engineering firm. At the firm, he was responsible for overseeing the day-to-day operations of human resources, accounting, and personnel development. In 1997, he made a life-changing decision based on circumstance and decided to readjust his focus and align himself with a financial services company. It took a couple years for him to really learn the business and to stabilize his own skills. In January 2002, he made another life-altering decision, which resulted in relocating his family to a new state. After 6 months in a new city and lots of hard work of rebranding and regrowing his business, he was promoted and inducted into the Financial Independence Council and earned his first $100,000. During the next 3 years, he was able to develop, train, and promote 5 vice presidents, numerous regional managers, division leaders, sales associates within his organization. He then earned and was promoted senior vice presidents, and he was promoted himself to third diamond people, which means $380,000 of personal income level. After 10 wonderful years of service and success, Mr. Barkley continued coaching, mentoring, and developing people. He decided to launch his own business at that point, Ambassadors for Hope, which he launched in 2009. Tony made a commitment to his inner circle that his primary focus would be to consistently train and coach individuals on how to achieve their own goals and their dreams based on his personal and professional experience. He knows that diligence and hard work mixed with great advice and wisdom from coaches and mentors are the key to success. He serves as an ambassador, assisting those who want to make a change. Coach Tony is now the author of the 6 Laws of Success, a book that is featured on Amazon and being sold all around the world. He is married to a wonderful wife, his friend, and his business partner for over 19 years, Sharice Barkley, and they have 3 beautiful children, all the way from North Carolina. I want you all to welcome an author, a business consultant, a leader, a motivational speaker, a trainer, an individual who has a big heart and who loves to pour into individuals. And I can see now why he is affectionately known as Coach. So that we are bringing to the mic, all the way from North Carolina, again, Anthony Barkley, also known as Coach Tony. Coach Tony, are you here?
That I am. Good evening. Can you hear me okay, Joy?
I can. Good evening.
Listen, before you get started, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. It's an honor and a blessing to be on this show with you. And as we say in the country, I'm just excited to pig and slaughter.
I am excited to have you on with us, and for you to be able to share your advice, share your experiences, and share your advice and nuggets to the listeners who, for the most part, are in their own transitions in some way, shape, or form and looking to advance in life.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So I know I gave what was a short bio, and I know you have a lot more to explain about who you are. So really take us from the very beginning. What began your overall journey, your career in life?
Well, we all have a story, and I believe that we also all have a testimony. And before we get into it, I believe that we have to go through the test and pass the test before we can start giving major testimonies. So with that being said,
Amen.
My dad died. I was 3 years old. My beautiful mother with 5 beautiful boys, 2 beautiful girls. As you can imagine, the family was experiencing some major financial struggles, terrible struggles, and we were growing up in the projects of Philadelphia. You know the deal, ratchet roaches and drive-by shootings and bread and butter sandwiches. And my mom made a tough decision. And we know that mothers, single mothers in general, they make tough decisions. And the tough decisions, that's why they're the best ones, because they're tough. So she made the decision to send the boys off to an orphanage up in Hershey, Pennsylvania, to get us off the streets and give us a fighting chance. I was blessed to have graduated from that high school. Not smart enough at the time and didn't have the money to go into college, so I enlisted into the Air Force. Somebody asked me, why the Air Force? Well, the Marines, they fight, the Army eat bugs, the Navy folks, they swim. And I wanted something easy, that was the Air Force. And by the way, I want to salute all the men and women on the line and on the call who served our nation. Well, after separating from the Air Force, I got a traditional job like we all do. And I put my whole life into corporate America, thought it would take care of me, but a recession came. And I lost everything in that recession. When I say everything, I lost my house. First of all, you don't lose the house. The real owner comes gets it, called foreclosure. I lost my car. You don't lose the car. The repo man gets it 2 o'clock in the morning. I lost my dignity. I lost my pride as a man. I lost the ability to be an effective husband and father.
Wow.
And then I became homeless. And couldn't take care of my kids, obviously, and my girlfriend, now wife. And so, as you know, and it will continue to show here, it was the lowest point of my life. But here's the thing I knew. I knew that God would never leave me or forsake me, and I know He didn't.
No, He will. No, He will. Mm-hmm.
And so it was just a matter of time for that turning point.
Wow. You just gave me another side of your testimony that I did not know, and I appreciate you being very transparent and explaining about your humble beginnings, because when someone looks at you and when someone sees everything that you've achieved, they would not know that, and I think that you just sharing your story in those quick couple minutes honestly gave somebody hope. And help them to realize that while you may be going through your own trials and tribulations, there is a period of time that comes after it that can be 10 times better.
Absolutely.
Wow. So when in your pivotal moment of transition and change, what was the one thing that you did? Or was there something where you had that moment of clarity to say, I must do something different?
Yeah, well, a couple of things. First thing we all need to know is that tough times don't last, but tough people do. Let me say it again. Tough times don't last, but tough people do. And
I like that.
The reality of it is, they don't last, but tough people do. But we got to get through it. We have no choice. First I was asked to take a look at a business and income opportunity, speaking in terms of the turning point that would assist me on my journey. And I didn't have to think about it. I didn't have to pray about it because I knew the message that came, that being my life raft. And let me digress for a second. Sometimes when we're given these life rafts and these opportunities to achieve our goals and dreams, we should not send them back. You see, sometimes God will send you a message by a messenger that may not be the messenger that you thought it would be. See, because if it came the way you thought it would, that might make you God. See, let me say it again. If it came the way you thought it would, that might make you God. And I believe sometimes He has His way of getting our attention.
He does.
And so, He definitely does that. And so, in my case, I heard the voice, and I heard the word, because my incredible mama, Emma Lee Barkley, gave me the greatest gift. No, she didn't give me the gift of life. My Lord and Savior Jesus did. But she gave me the gift by introducing me to Jesus Christ in my home church, Shalom Baptist Church in Philadelphia. So when you go back to ask me what was the turning point was being introduced to something, being able to hear the word about that something. And then I remember something somebody told me a long time ago: don't wish your situation was better, wish you were better. Don't wish your situation was better, wish you were better. And so when we get back to the Word of God, I'm going to tell you flat out before we get into it, we all need it, okay? Because if you don't believe me, look at the money that we all want in our pocket. And on every denomination, it simply says, in God we trust. And so, again, the second thing with the pivotal transition, the transformation, I made a calculated decision to invest, not buy, but invest into my personal development growth program, which is not just reading a book. But I had to invest in a personal development program and my licenses with the company. And by the way, I didn't have the money to do so because you heard I was homeless, so I sold plasma and pawned my jewelry to get involved and get those services in education. Not because I wanted to make money, not because I wanted to make money. I wanted my life back. My Lord and Savior took some stripes and died for me, and I wanted to be very, very a blessing to others. So I had to do what I had to do. So again, those were the two turning points that really, really got me to have the blessing to be on this call today.
Wow, and see, this is why it's so important, I feel like, for any of us to not downplay situations that come and things that happen, because you are going to be learning consistently as you go, and the foundation that you're on truly matters. And I heard you mention that you were connected to Jesus by your mother, and then you learned and you heard the word at Shalom Baptist Church, my church currently right now, and so it's important to be in a place where you can develop and you can hear the word, and that word stayed with you.
Absolutely, yes, ma'am.
It stayed with you, and it made a huge difference, and it helped you get through to your next step. And I'm sure there's so many life lessons that you learned, like big lessons along the way. Could you give us a few just in regards to like the corporate side, corporate world, being in business for somebody else? What did you learn in that space?
Well, I'm going to give you 3 lessons that I've learned. I could give you many, but for the sake of the time we're blessed to have with our audience, I'll just give you 3. And you'll hear another repeat. The first one is personal development. And again, you have to sit down with someone and find out what that really means. But just go back to the scriptures where it simply says, we transform ourselves by the renewing of our mind. One of the quotes I have in my book is that I'm not better than you. I just became a better me to better serve you. And it was important for me to put that in because as I grew as a man, and a leader, and a husband, and a father, and a child of God, I didn't want anybody to think that I was trying to be, as they say in the streets, all that. I just want to be a better example. So becoming a better me so I could better serve others was the key. So that's the number one as far as the lesson. And most people miss that. The second thing is that I learned is that people are all the same, man. We all want to be loved. We all want to be respected. We all want to be happy. And we all want to be successful. But the reality of it is, when we talk about our jobs, our place of work, or our businesses as an entrepreneur, yes, we have a product or service, but the reality is a computer's not buying your product or service. An individual is. And so how do we really get great at dealing with people? Well, that comes to the third thing that I've learned. I didn't come up with this law. Andrew Carnegie did, one of the world's first wealthy men, who wrote the book Think and Grow Rich. At any rate, it's called the law of compensation. I'll give it to you real quickly.
Okay.
We'll see why laws are important in a second.
Mm-hmm.
And it simply says every man or woman gravitates where they belong in life, just as sure as water seeks and finds its level. Now, your position at your job or your business will be measured financially by the quality, the quantity, and the mental capacity in which you relate to others. See, let's just talk about the money, the law of compensation. It simply says we have to do more, that's the quantity. We have to do better, that's the quality. And we have to know how to relate to others. People don't know how to do more. They don't know how to do a great job. And then they don't know how to relate to others. So they're breaking the law of compensation and therefore not achieving the wealth that they want to achieve. And mind you, before you go into incredible show, not because I'm on it, because you have it. You know this. You know this. Money's not everything. Poverty's nothing either. My family knows about it. But more importantly, money's not a black thing or white thing. It's a knowledge thing. Hence why the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. So if our God is a wealthy God, and we're children of God, and our God is not running out of money, neither should we.
Wow. That's enough right there. That's enough right there to stop everything and really sit back and think. You mentioned some really good takeaways that listeners, I really hope that you jotted those down really quickly or put those in the back of your mind so you can take with you and to learn because it is all the lessons are really important. And what was just jumped out at me was just like you said, how we relate to people and how we interact with people is very key, because you never stop dealing with people, well, no matter what level you're on. And so mastering how you present yourself to people, how you relate to people, the conversations you have, the relationships you develop, they all matter. And as that manifests and grows, it's going to relate into every part of your life. And so that's awesome. And I really applaud you for taking what you've learned and really just cultivating all of your knowledge and experience and establishing it into a corporation that can then help individuals. And as I mentioned in the bio, you've established Ambassadors for Hope as a business and a financial agency that provides motivational speaking, and it helps individuals in various ways to grow and to move. And that's reaching back. And for 15 plus years, you've been doing such an awesome job at helping individuals with your business.
Yeah, it's a blessing.
What's besides the business and the financial aspect of the business? Give us the mission and overall goals of what you're trying to achieve and what you have been achieving.
Absolutely. In simple terms, our board of directors and staff, we came with a mission statement that's pretty clear and concise. And that is to provide the highest quality of business and financial solutions to individuals, entrepreneurs, and business owners to help them achieve their long-term success. So in retrospect, we're business and financial consultants heavy in personal development, leadership, and sales training. Why is that important? Very simply, if you turn on the TV, there's a show called Shark Tank, The Profit, Bar Rescue, to name a few. They're all consulting shows. They're all shows where people are looking to get advice and counsel on how to be successful. Mm-hmm. I just happen, and my company has happened to go through some major trials and tribulations and successes to be able to bring that message and that information to the masses. And again, by this show that you have, it's also doing that very same thing. So that's our message. More importantly, that's our mission, and we're just praising God that we're able to continue that into the next coming year, 2020, the 21st century.
Amen. And I know you have a website. You have ways that folks can actually connect with you and get more information about Ambassadors for Hope. So please tell everyone, how can they connect with you on the business side?
Absolutely. Thank you. The website, www.ambassadors, just like the ambassador of state, AMBASSADORS, the number 4, Hope, HOPE.com. That is our website. And of course, those who are inclined to call, you can reach us directly at our office at 336-365-8075. 336-365-8075. And those who in fact call in or email, please let the staff know that you heard about this company by the way of this incredible show, and we'll definitely take good care of you with some major, incentives and discounts and things of that nature.
Yes, listeners, do not miss out on the opportunity to connect with consultants who are moving and shaking and who can help you. If you need to connect on a later basis and you didn't write the information down, you can always go on my IG page. The information is there. You can connect with me as well, Millennials Stand Up, Spiritual Connect Radio, and we will provide the information to you even on a later date. Now, Coach Tony, one of the jewels that you've released right now for everyone is your book, your first book.
Yeah. Yes.
Right? I'm gonna say first of many. I actually have the 6 Laws of Success in my hands. This book is truly a game changer. And I have had the pleasure of reading through it over the past couple weeks. Shout out to my mother who brought the book for me and gave it to me. You know, I am who I am because of her. And this book is, simply put, just has so much to offer to individuals. And this book, as you would say, is a solid navigational guide to assist people from all walks of life who want to achieve success. Did I get that right?
You 100% right, Joy.
This, there's the book. I mean, there's just so much to it, right? You know, you give background about yourself. You go through the 6 laws. You also give some additional information in here. And to me, it really helps to give readers a simple, realistic perspective on some key laws that need to be followed and can't be broken, right? And you can't miss one because they're all needed. I'm just going to read just the first paragraph of the back of the book before we get into the laws. And it says, are you breaking the 6 laws of success? Do you know how these laws affect your ability to achieve your personal, financial, or business goals? Here's a fact. Success is guaranteed to those who are in position for it. As long as you are blessed to have life and the ability to live abundantly, you will need guidance, more like success laws, to keep you on track, accountable, and more importantly, in a position for success. Amen. Like this, this is like a little treasure right here. This book here, and it means a lot. What was your motivation to write the book?
Yeah. Let me say this first of all. I broke every one of these laws we're going to talk about. So let me just put that out there, okay? No ambiguity. And as my brothers and sisters will tell you, I was a very interesting child, none to say the least. But neither here nor there. Let me just say this. First of all, what success is not. Success is not just about money. So I want to put that out there. You know, just know this. Somebody who wants to go off and be a great teacher after 20 years and they accomplish that sheet of success. Somebody wants to be a great stay-at-home mom. Somebody wants to go off to be a great radio show personality and they achieve that. That's success, okay? Somebody who's an incredible woman like my mom, Emily Barkley, and of course Anna Weeks, Sister Anna Weeks, that's a success. But see, as it relates to the book, for many years my family and staff and board of directors were encouraged me to write this book. And I didn't get it. I'm like, well, why would I need to write a book? I mean, who wants to? And they kept telling me, no, you went through what you went through and achieved what you achieved so that others don't have to go through it. And I said, you're right, because that was part of the hidden deal that God and I had made. Matter of fact, we don't make deals with God, but that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. And it was that if he allowed me to become successful, I'll bless and show others how to achieve theirs. And for them, I'm forever grateful. You know, during 20 years, Joy, of leading, training, and developing people, I begin to see a common denominator. I begin to see why people were not achieving success. And it began to weigh heavy on my heart. It just really, really was tearing me to pieces. Because I knew why they were not achieving success, because I learned these laws from very successful people, and I just applied the laws to my good. You know, as relates to teens and millennials, they are said to be depressed and having anxiety issues. Now, I'm not a physical doctor, but again, after studying and working with thousands of people, here's what I found out.
I'm
They're
listening.
just overwhelmed and they're just overwhelmed and not able to achieve success. So now, Joy, let's have some fun real quick before we end the show here.
I'm
Let
ready.
me ask you a question. I know you have about 8 degrees at your mama.
No.
It's hard to put you to school.
I don't.
but Joy to the world, how many P's are in happiness?
I'm sorry, say that again.
How many P's are in the word happy?
There's 2.
See, I don't know what college you went through, but you need to go get your money back. There's 5 P's in happy. See, in order to be happy, and we're talking about the book now, you got to first know what your purpose is. That's the very first P. And see, this book will make sure you're in alignment with your purpose. Now, the second P is your priority. See, Joy, you know your purpose, and today you're making a priority, which allows you to be happy. But you can't just have the 2 P's. So when you know your purpose, then you know your priority, then that gives you this thing called passion. See, you can hear I'm passionate because I know my purpose, and I make my purpose my priority, and that gives me passion. Well, once you know your purpose, priority, passion, then it gives you this thing called peace. So when you're walking around, people say there's something about you. I want to know what it is. And you say, because I know how to spell happy. So purpose, priority, passion, peace, and then it gives you the last P, the 5th P, that we all want. And that's prosperity. And prosperity is not just in the purse of the money, but prosperity is your health, your life, your relationships.
Yes.
So again, going back to the 6 laws, I want to help people become happy, and they have to know how to spell happy. I just showed you how to spell happy. And just know this about the book. I heard a quote that said, be kind and generous in dealing with people. We're all going through something in which you know nothing about. Wow, how profound. And you see, I found that most people are dealing with 3 things as relates to something. Number 1, they're about ready to get into something. Everybody who's listening to this, either you're about ready to get into something. Number 2, you're either going through something. Or number 3, you're coming out of something. See, we're all either about ready to get into something, we're going through something, or we're coming out of something. And this book, The 6 Laws of Success, every 3 you find yourself
come on,
in
Coach, now you're
will
preaching.
help you on that journey.
I'm excited. Listen, I'm like jumping out of my seat right here in the studio, and I'm ready to get into the laws. How about we go through them one by one?
Yes, ma'am. And obviously, we want to leave something for the reader. I'll just kind of, if it's okay with you, just tell them what the 6 laws are, or you ask me what the 6 laws are, and I'll just give a quick nugget, appetizer, if you will, and we'll keep the show rolling.
You're my guest, so I want to give you time on the mic. So you go ahead. We'll go through the laws, but yes, only give a sneak peek. Give a sneak peek, because listeners out there, I want you to go and make sure you get this book. I will tell you later how to get it, but we're not going to give you it all, because you got to do some homework, you got to do some research for yourself.
That's right. And by the way, so we don't fail to mention, at the end of every one of these laws is what we call an assessment, 4 or 5 questions that you get to ask yourself, to be truthful with yourself, where you stand. And just keep in mind, this book is also written for people who may not be big readers or don't like reading.
That's good to know.
As if we're having yes, ma'am. I wrote it in a manner as if we're having a conversation, the reader and I, as well as big print for people like myself who need glasses to see better. So let's cover these 6 laws. Ladies and gentlemen, number 1 is simple. You upgrade and protect your mind. It's number 1 for a reason. First of all, we upgrade our cell phones, we upgrade our TVs, we upgrade our cars, but we've never been taught how to upgrade our minds. You know, as I said, we've never been taught. Not that we never do it, we've never been taught.
Never been taught,
and if we don't upgrade our minds, how can we keep up with times, and how can we achieve success? But the other part about upgrading your mind, you have to protect it. And I talk about the difference between a fly and a hummingbird. You have to decide which one you think you are. If you don't know, get the book, you'll find out. And then also talk about the power of the conscious and the subconscious mind. So again, it's not a deep read, okay, but just know this: we have to upgrade and protect our mind. If we don't, if we break that law, the other five don't matter, and we're in trouble. So that's law number one.
Law number one. Got it.
Law number two, yes ma'am. Law number two is set goals properly to achieve goals often. Set goals properly to achieve goals often. We all have goals.
That's right.
We all have goals, but we've never been taught how to set them properly. That's why it's been said most people die at the age of 35 when you be buried at 75. Give it up. And when most people die, their goals and dreams die with them because they never were taught how to set them properly. Again, I didn't make these things up. I was taught these things by some very successful men and women in the world today, and I just, again, bend these things to my good so I can teach other folks. So set goals properly, achieve goals often. Law number three, adjust your attitude for high altitude. Again, adjust your attitude for high altitude. Look, bad things happen to good people. You all may be great people for that matter. But when tough times come, and they will, and bad things happen, and they do, how do you adjust your mindset and your attitude so you can continue going north? I know a lot of people that when something terrible happens, they allow it to just destroy them. So this book talks about how do you adjust it so you continue on the upward journey towards your goals, your dreams, success. The last three, law number four, break bad habits and form good ones. Listen, there's no in-between habits. Okay, they're either bad ones or good ones. So you have to bathe yourself in good habits so the bad ones may drown. I used to have a bad habit of eating late at night. You can't do that. You'll blow up about 400 pounds. I had to give up that habit. And then the other bad habit, you'll get a chuckle out of this. I used to look at a pretty girl walking down the street, and I got sick of running to poles with big knocks on my head. My wife said, that deserved your lesson, so stop looking at pretty girls. So anyway, that's a funny joke. But at the end of the day, break bad habits and form good habits. And become a slave to good habits. Okay? Law number five, the last two, understand how money truly works and build a financial house. Listen, money doesn't come with instructions. But everything you have does. Your TV, your cell phone, your car, a manual, they all come with instructions. So the very thing we work for every day, we don't really know how it works. See,
that's
I got
so true.
introduced to Citigroup. I became a senior vice president. I had every license known to man in financial services. And then I made it my 10-year ministry to understand money and teach it and help people build their financial house. So why go work for something you don't understand? I believe in that great book called the Bible, there's a subject matter being written more than any other subject, that being money. And I think that was written because God knew our Achilles heel. We're in prison because of crime of passion or crimes of money, and if we don't understand that money, we're in trouble. Law number 6, the last one, time management. Utilize time management. Listen, none of us are going to see 12 again. So at the end of the day, life, the time you have, is the most valuable resource you have. You have to be careful who and what you spend it on. And what I found out of 20 years is most people are allowing people to steal from them, which means they're stealing time. And if you let people steal time from you, you're worse than that thief because you're taking away from the time that God had gave you and away from your wife, your husband, and your kids. And keep in mind, if you don't take care of those you love with time and love, the streets will take care of that for you. So again, those are the 6 laws of success. Break one, you'll pay the price, and we just don't want you to do that. So that's what those 6 laws are.
And as you mentioned, each one has value. Each one will cause you to sit back and to think and to reflect and to figure out where you can make changes, and to make sure that you're staying true to each of them. Now, Coach Tony, did you, in your experience, does an average individual learn or develop the laws and understand the laws simultaneously, or is it one by one?
So here's the reality. Every man or woman who is listening to this call, they are breaking every one of these laws, perhaps, or shall I say, every man or woman on this call is dealing with every one of these laws in life. Okay? So whether it's, how to protect your mind from people putting bastard seeds in there, how do you hit your goals, so on and so on and so forth. So to go back to your question, you should know these laws and perfect these laws, for the lack of a better term, in order that was just given.
Mm-hmm.
But wherever you can fit it in, because once you get one done, you'll be hungry and thirsty for the other one. They really go hand in hand. And if you could, I just don't know in my 20 years of any other main fruits or main vitamins or main ingredients to one's success other than those 6. And trust me, I've looked high and low to find out what they are. So, I think people should get it when they could get it and fit it when they should fit it. But more importantly, make sure they don't break any of the 6.
And go in order. I think that's really important. Hey, I'll be the first to admit I'm breaking some of the laws. Like, I already know where I need to do my own homework, and I've already said to myself that there are probably some room for growth in my own life for every single law. Right? And I'm going to commit, and I'm going to gear myself up to make the change and to do something different in all of the areas. I'm not perfect, and I don't. And I think that. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Joy. Let me salute you and congratulate you for yourself being transparent on that. And none of us are perfect. And there's days that I may get close to breaking one of these laws, and as the kids say, I have to check myself before I wreck myself. But because
yes.
because I know them, I'm more conscious not to break them. And then some people think I'm special. I mean, ain't nothing special about me. My family would tell you, my wife and kids would tell you, he ain't special. But what makes one think I'm special is because, again, and by the way, these 6 laws will help anyone that's called be successful in their ministry, not just in their business, but the ministry of being able to take who you are, your gifts and talents, according to Matthew 25, the parable of the talents, to take your gift and your talent and have God came back and say, well done, thy faithful servant. You did well what I've given to thee, so I make you ruler over many. Enter the joy of the Lord. So at the end of the day, that's why we want to know these 6 laws, because, you may break the law and not go to prison here on earth.
Mm-hmm.
If you break these laws, you're going to have somebody else to answer to. And so
absolutely,
whenever you're ready, Ms. Joy, I definitely want to end with something I think will get some folks' attention as we get close to ending this show. I could talk with you all day, and I sure hope you would talk to me all day, but like you told me earlier, Coach, don't be long-winded because these folks got things to do.
We have to honor our time, and we know we always have a short time. We have so much fun during our 45 minutes to an hour shows, and sometimes we go straight to the wire. But, Coach, I definitely I'm already thinking about having you back at some point in time on the show, whether you have to call in all the way from North Carolina, which I do appreciate you taking your time out to do so, and to educate us, myself and the listeners, and I'm hoping that I can connect with you when you're here in Philadelphia, and we can bring you directly onto the show to speak again, or maybe we can set up something for you to speak in person. I like that.
Listen, I appreciate that. That would be an honor because, my family is in the great city of Raleigh, Philadelphia, and that's my home church, and that would be an honor. And just know this, not just you and I doing some things together. I think everybody on this show listening in should take a moment after this show and really, really have a reflection what they want to do with their rest of their life as we go into the new year.
Yes.
And like I said, if you allow me to, I have a couple words of encouragement I'd like to leave with your listeners before we end the show.
Please do. The mic is yours.
All right. Well, listen, she's right. Our time is getting close to ending. And I thought long and hard about what I wanted to share with you in ending this incredible show that Joy to the World is allowing us to be on. And she's doing that because she's exercised faith. By the way, you notice I use both those beautiful names, Joy?
I see.
Well, there's a poem by Marion Williamson that talks about fear. And I think this poem and what I'm going to share with you will summarize what Joy and I were talking about as it relates to not just millennials, but people in general. And the poem goes like this. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. You see, it is our light, not our darkness, that frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You see, you are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. And there's nothing enlightening about shrinking so that other people won't feel unsure around you. You see, we were born to make a manifest to the glory of God that is within us. It is not just in some of us, it's in every one of us. And as we let our light shine, I repeat, as we let our light shine, we consciously give other people permission to do the same. And as we're liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. That's the poem. And when we talk about shining the light, there was a song that I remember listening to in Shalom Baptist Church with the late, great, legendary pastor David Weeks. And he said, and the song goes, this little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. You know, a simple song with few words, easy to remember yet powerful. So in order to shine your long-lasting bright light, you need batteries. And there's a certain type of battery that never drains or runs out. It simply never loses its power. Now, this battery you can't get at the hardware store. You can't get it at Walmart. You can only get it by receiving Christ as your Lord and Savior. And I can only tell you what has worked for me and for millions of lives, relationships, and families, and businesses. So, ladies and gentlemen, millennial listeners, everybody on this call, let me end with this. You've heard a word. You can believe the word. You should go and do the word, and you'll achieve the promises of God's word. So go shine your light and make a difference while making an impact. Joy, God bless you, lady. Thanks for having me on this show. It's been an honor and a blessing. And I encourage you to continue your journey, Joe, and being and doing and delivering great content and value. And I highly recommend that every listener on this call help sponsor this much-needed program. God bless you all. God bless you, Joy. And God bless the great state, United States of America.
Thank you, Coach Tony. I really appreciate it. You have all of our support, all of our love here at Millennials Stand Up on Spiritual Connect Radio. Once again, I just appreciate you taking your time out to share with us and to encourage those who are listening. You made so many great points that I just pray that someone wrote down and they're going to take with them on their, even just tomorrow, or even start tonight. Start tonight by getting a good night's rest and getting ready for tomorrow, because this is important. This is about ministry. This is about growth. This is about what we as individuals will bring to the world. And so I do appreciate you at least giving us this quick 45 minutes or so to help us out.
Absolutely. God bless you.
God bless you. Thank you so much.
Good night now.
Good night. Well, listeners, you heard it first right here on Millennial Stand Up, the 6 Laws of Success. The 6 Laws of Success are, is available on Amazon. And you can also visit ambassadorsforhope.com, in which you can also reach out to anyone in the company who will direct you into buying the book. I have my own copy. It's already bent. I've already written and highlighted inside of it. It's truly, like I said before, a treasure to have. I can't wait to finish my last few chapters and actually commit myself to these laws, because we're not perfect. We all, in some way, shape, or form, are falling short, and that's okay. Because we have the support, we have the light, and we have the light of God, we have the encouragement of the Holy Spirit to help push us and guide us. And so I pray that this was an impactful show and it was enlightening to you, and you will get ready for the next couple weeks as we close out this year, and you will start prepping for where you are going next. Until next time, be blessed and have a wonderful and great evening.